Did you know that mayo is one of the worst foods you can eat? In this video, I will explain you why and give you some good alternatives to not use mayo at all and some good brands to use if you absolutely must eat mayonnaise. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to Kuhn's Kitchen. This is the channel where we cook efficiently without using ultra processed foods. But today we're not going to cook. Today we're going to talk about mayo. Mayo is or can be delicious until you read the ingredients and the label. And it's used I use it a lot, or I used to use it a lot in different recipes. But since I've discovered what is actually in mayonnaise, like traditional mayonnaise, I have pretty much stopped using it and started using other alternatives instead. First on the agenda is, why is mayo so bad? So if you look at the ingredient list, it's not that long, like many other processed foods can be. But first of all, the first ingredient is usually soybean oil. You can find some mayo brands with sunflower oil or maybe canola oil as well. But honestly, it doesn't really matter because they are all seed oils, which is very bad for you to ingest. I will probably make a whole video about seed oils so you understand why you should not eat them. Honestly, it was not until I looked for a lot of information about seed oils that I really wanted to avoid it. And then they start to taste so fake and awful to me. So maybe you can try that as well to learn about it. I will link some good resources as well below, that where you can learn more about seed oils. But essentially, all seed oils like canola, soybean, safflower oil, there are a bunch of other ones, but essentially any oil that comes from a small seed that has been processed in a factory. So what they do to oils is they extract them. But imagine when you extract oil from something like a soybean that is not very oily in the first place, it takes a lot of seeds to get some oil out. So they have to press those seeds in a factory. And when it comes out, it doesn't taste good at all. So they have to deodorize it and put it through a bunch of chemical process that pretty much strips the oil of all its nutrients. And it also alters the fat molecules in the oil so that our body cannot recognize it when we eat it. So that's what's in seed oil. Then we have some other ingredients that we don't have to worry about, like eggs and lemon. But the other two things that you need to worry about in mayo are calcium disodium, or EDTA. So this is a chemical compound used in the industry. It's in a lot of processed foods. If you start reading label, you will see it a lot. It's also used, not all these strange chemical compounds have been studied a lot, but I found one study from nature.com that it can make IBS worse if you eat this chemical compound. And also it is possibly carcinogenic, but it's just a chemical that we don't need in our food. And last but not least, we have natural flavors. That is just a broad term for different natural flavors that, sure, maybe it's not the worst processed food ingredient, but we don't really know where these natural flavors come from and how they have been processed. If you can, it's best to avoid those as well. Okay, we've established that mayo is a bad food. So now let's get into what to use instead. So I apologize for people that are sensitive to dairy because this will not work for you. But for warm dishes, when I need to use, I would use mayo to make something creamier. I usually use creme fraiche. This is from Trader Joe's. I haven't found it anywhere else, but it's just a little bit creamier version of sour cream. But the good thing with this is that you can cook it without the proteins in getting coagulated. Maybe that was a Swedish word. But essentially, it doesn't mess up your sauce if you put this in and heat it up. So this is really good for like stews or other hot things that you want to cook. And for like cold sauces, like potato salad, or if you want to make coleslaw, you might as well use sour cream. And the full fat version will be more delicious and more similar to mayo. But I think it honestly works in almost any recipe. sour cream. It's creamy and you mix it with some spices, some mustard. You can put it in coleslaw and your broccoli slaw or potato salad if you like to make that. Another thing you can use as well is Greek yogurt. It, of course, gets a little bit more of a tangy flavor when you use this, but it's also a great alternative for cold things. I want to recommend cooking hot things with Greek yogurt because it messes everything up and you get little crumbs in your sauce. I've tried it, so you don't have to. Oh, and I guess one thing that is very common to use mayo is like to dip your fries in it. First of all, if you buy fries, they're anyways fried in these awful seed oils. So if you're going to eat those fries, I don't know how much of a difference it is if you actually eat them with some regular mayo. But my suggestion then would be to make a nice sauce with some spices and some sour cream and just dip your fries in that. Yeah. And if you really want to use mayo, I know sometimes it's really nice on a little bit of eggs or to dip homemade air fried fries without seed oils in it. Then I would recommend you buy something like this, a mayo with avocado oil. I have two alternatives here. One is from Chosen Foods. And if you read the ingredients in this one, avocado oil, filtered water, egg yolks, whole eggs, distilled white vinegar, mustard, salt, rosemary extract. It doesn't really have anything bad in it. Avocado oil is a better oil for you. And you have this alternative as well, the Primal Kitchen mayo. And this pretty much has the same ingredients, just that they're all organic. So I think these two are a pretty good alternative. And the only issue is that they're very expensive. I think this one costs $10 and this one $7 or something like that. So compared to your $3 bottle of regular mayo, that is expensive. But if you use my other tips and just use some other ingredients for some of your cooking, then you don't need to use as much of this expensive avocado oil mayo. Great. That's all I wanted to share today. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any other avoiding mayo tips or other brands that people can use. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.